In the late 1960s, in a small quiet town on the banks of the Ohio River in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, this peaceful community became the epicenter of one of America's most chilling urban legends. Over a span of 13 months, dozens of residents reported seeing a mysterious creature. A towering figure with large glowing red eyes and massive wings. Join me as we delve into the mystery of the Mothman. Beyond the dark side. The Mothman sightings in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, between 1966 and 1967 are among the most famous cryptid encounters in American folklore. The first reported sighting of what would become known as the Mothman occurred on November 12, 1966. 5 men were digging a grave in a cemetery near Clendenin, West Virginia, about an hour from Point Pleasant. As they worked, they saw a figure rise from the nearby trees. They described it as a brown human being with wings. The creature did not attack or interact with them, but flew over their heads and disappeared into the trees. The most famous sighting occurred just 3 days later on the evening of November 15, 1966. 2 young couples, Roger and Linda Scarberry, and Steve and Mary Millette, were driving near the TNT area, a World War II munitions site outside of Point Pleasant. The area was known for its abandoned buildings and large wildlife preserves, making it an eerie, isolated spot. As they drove past an old power plant, Linda Scarberry noticed 2 large glowing red eyes in the darkness. The eyes belonged to a creature that was standing on the side of the road. The couples described it as a humanoid figure, about 6 to 7 feet tall, with wings folded against its back. Its eyes were hypnotic and seemed to shine when the car headlights hit them. Terrified, Roger Scarberry sped away from the site, but the creature took flight and followed them. The group later reported that the creature flew at incredible speeds, keeping up with their car even as they accelerated to over 100 miles per hour. The creature didn't flap its wings, but instead glided effortlessly through the air. It chased the car to the outskirts of Point Pleasant before veering off into the night. Once they reached town, the couples immediately went to the Mason County Courthouse and reported their encounter to Deputy Millard Halstead. The deputy noted that the group was visibly shaken and genuinely scared. Despite their fear, they agreed to return to the TNT area with Halstead, but the creature was nowhere to be found. The next day, the local newspaper, the Point Pleasant Register, published the story with the headline "Couples See Man-Sized Bird Creature." This sparked widespread interest and fear in the community. Over the following days, numerous other people came forward reporting similar sightings of a large winged creature with glowing red eyes. On November 16th, Marcella Bennett was visiting friends who lived near the TNT area. As she exited her car, she noticed a strange figure near the vehicle. Bennett described it as a large, gray, man-like creature with glowing red eyes. It began to move towards her, and in a panic, she dropped her young child and fell to the ground. The creature seemed to loom over her, but then it suddenly flew away. Bennett, traumatized by the experience, became hysterical and had to be taken to the hospital. In the following months, dozens of sightings were reported in and around Point Pleasant. Witnesses consistently described a creature that was humanoid in shape, about 6 to 7 feet tall, with large wings and glowing red eyes. The creature was often seen flying near the TNT area, but sightings were also reported in other parts of town. One such sighting involved a woman named Connie Carpenter. On November 27, 1966, she was driving home from church when she saw a large figure standing on the road. As she approached, the figure unfolded its wings and took off straight up into the sky. Carpenter described the creature as having no visible head, with the eyes situated on its chest. After the sighting, Carpenter suffered from conjunctivitis, a condition that causes swelling and irritation in the eyes, which she attributed to the creature's glowing red eyes. Another notable encounter involved Newell Partridge, a local contractor who lived in Salem, West Virginia, about 90 miles from Point Pleasant. On the night of November 16th, Partridge's television began to malfunction, emitting strange noises and patterns. His dog, Bandit, began to howl towards the barn outside. When Partridge went outside to investigate, he saw two large, red eyes reflected in a flashlight beam. Bandit ran towards the creature, and Partridge hurried back inside, terrified. The next day, Bandit was gone, and Partridge found large paw prints near the barn. He believed the creature had taken his dog. The sightings continued into 1967, with many in Point Pleasant growing increasingly anxious. Some believed the creature was a harbinger of doom, a theory that seemed to be confirmed on December 15, 1967. On that day, the Silver Bridge, which connected Point Pleasant to Gallipolis, Ohio, suddenly collapsed during rush hour traffic, sending 46 people to their deaths in the icy Ohio River. After the disaster, the Mothman sightings abruptly stopped. Many locals began to connect the creature with the bridge collapse, believing it was a warning of the impending tragedy. This connection further solidified the legend of the Mothman as an omen of disaster. The events in Point Pleasant between 1966 and 1967 have left a lasting impact on the town. The Mothman legend has been the subject of books, documentaries, and even a Hollywood film, The Mothman Prophecies. Each year, the town hosts the Mothman Festival, celebrating the legend that has become an integral part of its identity. Though skeptics argue that the Mothman sightings were a combination of mass hysteria, misidentifications, and hoaxes, the witnesses remain convinced of what they saw. To this day, the Mothman remains one of the most enduring mysteries in American folklore, a symbol of fear, mystery, and the unknown. This detailed account provides an overview of the key witness experiences during the Mothman sightings in Point Pleasant, capturing the eerie atmosphere and the lasting impact of the events. Do you believe the Mothman was a real creature, or could it have been a case of mass hysteria or misidentification? The Mothman is often seen as a harbinger of doom. Do you think the sightings were connected to the Silver Bridge collapse, or was it just a tragic coincidence? Do you think there are other explanations for the glowing red eyes and large wings reported by witnesses, such as government experiments or an undiscovered species? Do you think the Mothman legend has had a positive or negative impact on the town of Point Pleasant? What are your thoughts?